I love blueberries, don't you? So we have our blueberry patch here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 good sized blueberry plants. And then I have a couple that I planted last year, this one and that one. There was a third, but it died. So these are kind of fun. They're strawberry, pink lemonade blueberry. But my birds also enjoy eating my blueberries. So I've talked about this before. I tried bird netting, and I don't know if you've ever tried to move that crap around, but what it does is sticks to everything. Everything. So I went to plan B. So I got a bunch of these metal clips, outdoor garden clips. I think they're actually for the garden. Been using them for well over a year. And I use them from everything from, closing a bag to laundry to this. I'll put a link down below if you want to look at what they're made of and all that. And then I bought tooling, like what wedding veils are made out of. And now I just take it and I drape the tooling around a wire rack. I found a big bunch of wire. Let me show you. Show it to you from the side of the fence. Here it is. We found it in the dump. We were dropping off some recycling. We found it just like this, all spooled together. I mean, it's hundreds of pounds. I can't even move this thing by myself. I have to roll it. Anyway, that's what I make my round circular racks from, which I use for tomatoes, tomatillos, anything that vines or that I want to keep in place, and now I'm using it for blueberries. I'll link a video as well on how I actually create those out of this roll. We did talk to the people at the dump before we took it and asked them if we could pay for it for scrap or whatever, and they said just take it on out of here. We're in a farming community, so I think this stuff kind of shows up fairly often, so go to a dump near your house in a farming community and maybe you'll find something. Anyway, so this is what I make those circular racks out of, or fencing, or whatever you want to call it. And I like to put them around all the blueberries. So I think you understand what I mean. And then it's just a lot easier to clip to this. I did try to put the tooling just over a regular plant without putting the wire racking around it. And for the smaller plants, it does kind of work, but it's really a lot easier with the big plants. So clips and tool's really cheap. I'll link that too down below so you can look at it, and if it lasts a couple 3 years, then that's great, and then it gets tossed and I start all over again. It does get damaged a little bit in the sun, so you can see there's like old blueberry there, and this is a few years old, so the holes are pretty easy to start in here now. The other thing is the width. I think it's only like 36 or 48 inches wide, so you have to kind of drape it. But let me finish putting this one together, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's completely covered on the rack. Ta-da! So easy, one piece of tool per caged blueberry. The poor little things in there. You can see I've trapped a little fly in here, so you can tell that it keeps critters on the inside, but just that easy to let them out. There's another little guy in there. Every once in a while, I was having a conversation with somebody else who does the same kind of stuff on YouTube, actually, and we were discussing how sometimes birds can get in here, and this is the sneaky birds that go way to the bottom and then try to crawl underneath. So what I do is I clip the bottom down now, because before they were pushing this up and getting through, but we'll see how that goes. But because it's not big enough just to cover the whole thing, I have areas that I can just pull aside and reach in, right, to get some blueberry here, there, and everywhere. And that actually works pretty good. So maybe the width isn't a detriment. Maybe it's actually a plus. Make sure you cover the top too, because that's the number one way they're going to get in. My dog actually comes up and eats the blueberries off the lower branches. Alas, she will be blueberryless this year unless I give her some. Anyway, so easy. So I will link the clips, the tooling, just so you can see what it's all about. And you know, you can pick up tooling at Joann Fabrics or Michael's or any fabric store. You can probably get these clips anywhere. They are metal. They're really light. They could be stainless. I'll look at it and you'll see. And then the video that I did on making cages, plant cages out of that roll. And again, go to your nearest dump that's in, or metal recycle center that is in a community of farmers or ranchers, and you might find something like that you can buy. Or, you know, who knows, maybe even Goodwill or, you know, whatever thrift store is near you, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. Anyway, there you have it. So, all right, back to work for me. I'm going to start covering my cages. Let me know if you have any questions. And it looks like a frickin' good blueberry year this year, doesn't it? They are everywhere en masse, and they just look beautiful. But I paid attention to the pH, and I paid attention to adding sulfur, and I really did a good job of mulching. This year, you can see all the leaves still on the ground. This plant was dead last year. It was just these bottom dead stumps. And then we had some regrowth. And this is a ginormous blueberry. These blueberries are very huge. That one, alas, gave up the ghost. This one was also in the same spot. But it's underneath this small dwarf apple tree that I planted, which is no longer a dwarf. Then we'll talk about this coming up soon because I got to get in here and thin, but man, it's going to be an apple year too, right? This is such good apples. One thing we can grow in the Pacific Northwest, apples. Bicha. All right, there you go. Let me know if you have any questions. We'll see you later. Goodbye.